Did you know that in Gran Turismo 7, some cars are equipped with blind spot assistance, and that technology actually works when racing? Whenever a car approaches your blind spot, the warning indicator will flash to warn you. I know that Gran Turismo 7 is a racing sim, and some of you might expect that sort of thing, but to me, this level of detail is really cool. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hidden Video Game Details, the series where we take a look at some of the coolest hidden mechanics and details found in video games. As always, if you think you know of a hidden detail or Easter egg that I haven't covered before, then let me know in the comments. And if you want to help me out more than you already do by watching these videos, check out GamerSupps using my link in the description or in my pinned comment, and make sure you use the code CAP to get 10% off your order. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Skate, or Skate 4, if you will. Now, all EA had to do was build on the foundations of the Eggcellent Skate 3, and they would have had a hit on their hands. But they decided that there weren't enough live service games in the world already, so now we have whatever the hell this is. Here's the thing, the actual skating in Skate is pretty fun, and it feels satisfying to pull off even the most basic lines, but it's wrapped in this always online ribbon that's only there so you could be nickel and dimed for microtransactions, which sums up gaming in 2025. Still, I'm a half shaker full kind of guy, and I did manage to find some pretty cool details in San Vansterdam that are worth sharing. First up, if you take a closer look at the newspaper headlines, you can see one that claims that unstructured play makes children more smarter. And I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that crop circles are the work of aliens. Or at least, that's what the cows say anyway. Now, bailing is an inevitable part of being a skater. You have to brush yourself off and keep going. Well, sometimes when you bail, you might hurt something else more than you hurt yourself. So when you bail into this horse statue, it will make a sound. I'm not sure if this applies to other statues in the city or just this one, but it is really random. Now, the final detail is one of those things where some of you might think, well, of course that's a thing, but I still think it's cool. When I was skating around the city and I hopped off my board, I noticed this sound. Now, at first, I couldn't work out what the sound was. But that sound is actually the wheels on your board still spinning, because they don't just stop when you do. In fact, they can stay spinning for quite some time before eventually coming to a stop. I mean, this might have been a thing in previous skate games, but this is the first time that I've noticed it, and like I said, I think it's really cool. So the couple of times that I've shown anything from Melon Playground, I'm always told that I shouldn't be playing Melon Playground, as it's a rip-off of People Playground. So I decided to see for myself, and yeah, Melon Playground is a rip-off. Still, wanting to right the wrongs of the past, I decided to see if I could find anything cool in People Playground, and I did notice something pretty clever when it comes to the temperature. You see, in People Playground, you can change the ambient temperature of a level, and if you turn the temperature up to 100 degrees centigrade on a level that features water, this will happen. So the water will boil, and then also boil anything that you add to it, which is gruesome, but pretty cool. Well, if you go the other way and set the temperature to anything below 0, this will happen. So now your poor test subjects are frozen, which is literally cool. I'm guessing that there is more to find in People Playground, so if you know of anything that I should check out, then let me know in the comments. Now, I love Maneater. It's honestly one of my favourite games ever. And to some of you that might sound ridiculous, but hear me out. Maneater knows what it is, and that is a game where you play as a shark and eat everything you lay your beady black eyes on. And it doesn't try to be any more than that. What that means is you get a super focused 10 to 15 hour game where you can just switch your brain off and eat stuff. Oh, and it's full of Easter eggs too, which always helps.
Even after the creation of a killer clown task force, clown-related homicide still remains a problem in Port Clovis.
Now, just because you can switch your brain off when playing Maneater, that doesn't mean the game itself is stupid. When you grab a human and drag them down to the murky depths, this will happen. So after a few seconds, the person will drown and become shark food. which is exactly what you'd expect to happen. Well, if you grab a scuba diver and drag them below the surface, this will happen instead. So because of all the scuba gear, the scuba divers don't drown, and instead just wait patiently whilst their arm is in your shark's mouth. It's another one of those details where it makes sense, but I still think it's pretty cool. Now, Sticker to the Stickman is a physics-based brawler, but with a very clever twist. You see, you play as a stickman who is trying to climb the corporate ladder, and to do that, you need to murder anyone who gets in your way, which is exactly how I imagine Wall Street to be. Now, you don't get to pick which moves you can do. Instead, you unlock moves which are shown down here, and are performed whenever you press the attack button. It's really addictive, and each run ends with a boss fight on top of the building. And if you win, then that character becomes the boss, and you have to try and take them down. There are loads of characters to choose from, each with different starting moves and abilities. Take the Weeb, for example, who knows karate and runs cooler, but not necessarily faster. So the Weeb does the Naruto run, which I guess does make sense. Next up is the Task Dodger, who is the typical lazy person you can find in every office. For proof of this, if you try to select the Office Dodger as your character of choice, they will do this. So, true to their name, the Office Dodger will try to stop you selecting them by moving around the screen, before eventually giving in and letting you play, which is pretty funny. Up next is Motorslice. Now, you might not have heard of Motorslice before, as it's not even been released yet, but it's a game that you probably should be keeping an eye on. The Steam page for the game says that it was inspired by Prince of Persia, Mirror's Edge, and Shadow of the Colossus, and despite being very ambitious inspirations, you can definitely feel the DNA of those games when playing. Like I said, the game isn't out yet, so I don't want you to get too excited, but early signs are very promising. Now, Motorslice does that thing that games like B-Side do, and that's allowing you to poke and prod the main character in the menus. You can click almost anywhere and it will prompt a reaction, which is cool. Well, if you keep poking and prodding, this will happen. So, after swatting your cursor away to the centre of the screen a couple of times, if you continue to annoy P, she will lean forward and quit the game for you, which is brilliant. Now, something that's pretty unique in this game is that the camera is an actual drone that accompanies you on your journey. You can even see the shadow of the drone overhead. Well, if the camera gets too close to P, her eyes will follow it, and then if it gets even closer, she will blush. Also, if you use the drone's flashlight, P will do this. So P will squint because of the torch being shone in her face. I mean, if this is the level of detail we can expect in the full release, I can't wait to see what it has to offer. So Dying Like the Beast sees you taking on some seriously messed up zombies in the form of chimeras. These juiced up zombies each come with a specific skill that will put your own skills to the test. After each battle, Crane takes 2 samples of the chimera's blood. One for him and one for Olivia. Now personally, I wouldn't want to remember these fights. But then again, I'm not a part human, part zombie hybrid, so what do I know? Well, if you go to the town hall, you can find a photo board of Crane's various chimera battles. And if you take the time to look at each photo, Crane will comment on the fight.
Alright, gonna put up a rogues gallery so I don't ever forget what it took to take down these freaks. They're all big and ugly, but this freak might have outbigged and out-uglied them all. Others would rather forget it ever happened, but I prefer having photos. A colorful memento of our little encounter at the town hall. First ugly mother sucker from my collection. Jumping jackass. The fear, the disgust, and a smell that I will never forget. Hard to capture all that in a picture.
So that's it. If you know of any cool things in games that you think I should check out, then please leave them down in the comments. Big or small, obvious or not obvious. If I think it's cool, I'll include it in a video and of course credit you like these people here. Remember, we are trying to reach 1 million subscribers, hopefully this year, so if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and helping me out. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.